Goku Black had another close encounter, but now he may have run into a new ally as well, and it seems he may have found a new way to unlock great power. What will he decide in this situation? We'll be seeing all that and more in the 6th part of What If Goku Black Arrived Early. Now in a completely separate, non-existent timeline safe from the others, Goku Black contemplates to himself, should he put on this mask? He can clearly tell the fact that there is power in this, and he thinks it will draw out some power from him, but still, he doesn't know who sent it or why. It would be naive to trust that person's word at face value, especially because he doesn't even know who the person is. But as he looks at the mask, it's almost like it's taking over him already. It's beckoning him to put it on. And perhaps against his better judgment, he does put it on. There's magic imbued within it, and it's not an instant boost in power, but it is definitely leading him to somewhere. Most importantly though, he's in contact with the person behind the mask now. He introduces himself, a scientist named Fu. Strangely enough, Goku Black has never heard of him despite traveling across all these different timelines. Fu has been studying a bunch of different realities and getting data. These are all experiments for him in a way. He does have a pretty lofty goal to achieve, so this is leading him towards that. But Goku Black wonders why he hasn't met him in any other timelines. Is he some sort of god? Fu says that's not the case. But he's not immortal like the others. He's something different. But there's no point in them digressing. He tells Goku Black the reason he hasn't seen him anywhere else is because he doesn't really exist anywhere else. At least as far as he knows. He's already fought in some other places of his own, defeating immortals there. He and Goku Black don't have the same goals, but their methods of achieving those goals are pretty similar. Normally with this type of mask, he'd brainwash people, but for Goku Black he's not doing that. This mask is solely to communicate, and provide him with the dark magic that he needs to draw out some more power. Plus, at the moment, he doesn't know if he has the magic to possess Goku Black. But he informs Goku Black that there's far stronger beings out there than they realize. And while Goku Black's hopping through timelines, that's not actually what he's doing. He informs Goku Black that he's actually just hopping between continuities, and going to individual timelines of those places. All of this is so fun to observe for Fu, but it does give Goku Black another piece of info. He would have been defeated if he didn't accept Fu's help. The mask arrived at the perfect time too. He almost did just die again. How many more chances does he have to escape death? He's already had a few close calls, and Fu wants to make sure that doesn't happen again. Goku Black needs to continue what he's been doing, going to other continuities, fighting different versions of the other fighters. That's the best way to grow stronger and harness the power that he has. Super Saiyan Rose 2 won't be his limit. He'll go even beyond that. He's simply giving Goku Black the tools he needs, and they'll be in contact again soon. Another portal opens up in front of Goku Black, leading him to a pretty interesting and powerful mortal in another timeline. At least giving him some info on this guy. Apparently he has the plan to overthrow the gods. Not only is he a great opponent for Goku Black, but their ideals directly clash. A perfect start for him, and a nice lead from Fu. Let's go back to the main timeline. Naturally, Mayris finds Goku and Vegeta, and he tries to get them to help against Moro's escape. Also, Majin Buu too. And this time, Moro stopped before he could even get his wish, because first of all, Buu is staying awake. Goku and Vegeta do come along, but they're not even needed for the fight, because Buu's there. But even if Buu wasn't there, they'd still be able to win pretty easily, because first of all, Vegeta has access to Ultra Ego by this point, and he could definitely work around a way to defeat Moro by using that power. But on top of this, Goku's gone far beyond his own limits too. He's completed Ultra Instinct and gotten the white-haired version of it, but he's trying to make his own version of it right now, reinvent it and make it work for him and his emotions. So, plainly put, by this point in the story, Vegeta has Ultra Ego, and Goku's working towards his own true Ultra Instinct, for lack of a better name. Calling it that at least gets the point across, so semantics aside, you know what I'm referring to, that's why I'm calling it that. And also without Frieza's revival, that means there's not going to be some sort of Granola arc here. Granola unfortunately would just live life as normal, with the Heaters still doing their own thing. Plus, with Moro being stopped right away, 7-3's never freed from prison, he never goes to see Zuno, and the Heaters never get the info about that from him. Whis and Beerus are trying to keep a close eye on everything to see if Goku Black shows up again, but they can't find him anywhere. Whis is trying to look through all the different timelines around. But there's nothing. It's like he can completely phase out of existence. Of course, that isn't happening, but that's what it looks like is happening because they have no other clue of what's going on. It's not like he's suppressing his ki or anything, he's just not existent. Strangely enough, for the first time, the two Beeruses from different timelines are still in contact with each other. At least from the two active timelines that we're talking about, the present timeline and Trunks' future timeline. Normally this isn't something they'd be doing. They wouldn't even acknowledge each other's existence. But given the scope of the threat, they kinda need to communicate here. Goku and Vegeta spend most of their time on Beerus' planet, growing further and further. Vegeta gave up on Ultra Instinct a while ago and doesn't really care for that. He's pursuing the path of a god of destruction, not that he necessarily wants to become one, but rather he's trying to achieve that same power. Beerus saw how strong Goku Black was, and he realized that once these two reach their full potential, if there even is some sort of limit to their power anymore, they'll easily be able to defeat Goku Black. The two powers they have right now are already amazing. Although, he does wonder what's happening back on Earth. So, what is happening back on Earth? Nothing really, but eventually we do get into the events of Superhero. But things are going to go differently. Of course, the Red Ribbon Army is targeting supposed aliens. One day Gamma 2 shows up to fight Piccolo, and that goes pretty much like normal. Until the part when Gamma 2 is about to leave. Of course, Piccolo's laying low just to try and follow him, but he senses another power approaching. And rocketing through the sky, he sees Majin Buu. Behind him, he's dragging a chunk of himself, and wrapped in that, it's Gamma 1. Not that he tried to absorb Gamma 1 because he can't, he just wanted to capture him. The androids actually didn't have a gauge on how strong Majin Buu was, especially now tapped into the power of the Grand Supreme Kai, and the fact that he's actually awake here, he's an incredibly fearsome opponent. The power of the Gammas should be on par with him, as far as they know, but the big issue is Buu isn't easy to kill. They would have to completely destroy him, and plus he has his magic helping him too. Of course, Gamma 2's shocked to see that Gamma 1 has been captured, and Buu seems pissed, so he immediately starts fighting Gamma 2. He sensed Piccolo was in trouble and assumed that there was another person attacking. But then on top of that, someone else arrives. Another target at the Gammas, and the one that they didn't want to see right now, Gohan. He sensed Piccolo was in trouble, so he came here immediately, surprised to see Buu and the androids. Well, no point for Piccolo to hide anymore, so he reveals himself. Watching as Gohan and Buu easily defeat Gamma 2 next. They kinda did ruin his plans though because he was hoping Gamma 2 would lead them to the base. But whatever, now they have them captured, so maybe they could figure out something this way. Of course, the Gammas are pissed, telling these villains to let them go. By now they already know that the Gammas work for the Red Ribbon Army, which is a big issue. They try and get info out of these two, but the more they talk to them, the less they say. But Piccolo can kinda tell that they're acting weird. They're not actually acting like villains. They kinda sound like misguided heroes, if anything. So Piccolo tries a different angle, trying to convince them that the Red Ribbon Army isn't working for their interest. Of course, the Gammas aren't buying this, especially fighting these villains here. They're not villains. Piccolo says he was the former god of this Earth. Buu is a purely good being, and Gohan, he's also a purely good being. They should know all of this. They're not buying it, but then Gohan lifts up his watch and clicks a button, transforming into the Great Saiyan Man. He strikes a pose and does the voice. Do they at least know who he is? And given how big of a superhero nerd Hedo is, they actually do have knowledge of the Great Saiyan Man. Yet somehow they didn't realize it was Gohan. Piccolo just looks on in disbelief because that's what worked. That's what got these androids to believe them, the costume. And yeah, that's what puts them over the edge. Especially because Hedo's watching everything, and the second he sees the Great Saiyan Man, he tells him to stop attacking immediately. Also because Hedo kinda knows he's not doing the right thing here, he did it for the money. He even said this in the movie himself, so he commands the Gammas to back down. But he's left in kind of a tough spot now because he doesn't know what to do. He already started working on Cell Max and everything. And he brushed off the army attacking these people, but now that he sees that the Great Saiyan Man is one of those people, he's not going for it at all. This whole thing is a giant misunderstanding, and it's kind of Hedo's fault. He just wanted the research money. Buu frees the two Gammas, and they don't attack anymore. Considering what Hedo's telling them, reluctantly they lead the group to the Red Ribbon Army. Hedo does want to go and destroy Cell Max right now, but he needs some sort of distraction. So, the Gammas bring that distraction. They head back to the base and make it look like they were followed, with Piccolo, Buu, and Gohan arriving, acting like they're not all teamed up together. They fake fight the Gammas and defeat the Gammas, with the three of them easily defeating the rest of the army too. And amidst the panic, Hedo tries to shut down Cell Max, but then Magenta arrives, realizing that Hedo's trying to betray them. Did he set up this ambush? Well, what Hedo doesn't realize is that Magenta's been modified too. And after a brief struggle, he's able to activate Cell Max on his own, kind of speeding up the events of everything here. Cell Max rises up and they don't know what they're supposed to do here, but the Gammas regroup with them. Of course, it's terrible that Cell Max was unleashed, but they have a way around it. They just need enough power. Hedo informed them of a weak spot on him. That's kind of a backup plan in case he did get activated and Hedo wasn't able to stop it. But how are they supposed to deal enough damage to that weak spot? Gohan tells them he has an idea. He didn't expect to have to use this power anytime soon, but obviously he's been prepared for Goku Black to return. And it makes him wonder if they have data on Goku Black too, especially this monster. He's fought Cell before, and he doesn't know how this cell was created, but if it's even remotely similar to the other cell, that means he has data on Goku Black, as well as the updated power of everyone here. And even if that's not the case, Gohan could just tell he's incredibly strong already, even though he's a monster just destroying everything in sight. This Cell Max is stronger than the one we saw in the movie, but this Gohan's also stronger than the one we saw in the movie. He powers up, thanking Piccolo for his training here. He's actually had this form for a while, but never the chance to use it in a fight, which is probably a good thing. He holds out an arm, and, using Piccolo's own attack, he headshots Cell Max right in the weak spot, and thankfully it does work. Piccolo obviously knew about this form because he's been training Gohan, but it's always amazing to see Beast Gohan in action. It makes him confident that when Goku Black shows up again, they're in good hands, but it makes Piccolo wonder what he should be doing about his own power because he feels kind of left behind. Gohan's grown stronger, Goku and Vegeta have grown stronger, even Buu's grown stronger, but what about Trunks? Strangely enough, around the same time Gohan unlocked his Beast form, Trunks got something of his own. Obviously he's been training under Beerus and Whis, and he also had his potential unlocked. So he had the ultimate form like Gohan, but also the godly powers like Goku and Vegeta. He hasn't achieved Ultra Instinct or Ultra Ego. Neither suits him too well, and he can't really master either of them, if he even did attempt them. Plus, he hasn't been here all the time, he has been back to Earth after all because he's really the only line of defense for it, and he obviously does like being there time to time. Thanks to guidance from Whis, he's been able to channel the power of his god forms into Ultimate. He actually has 3 different god forms, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, and Blue Evolution. But he never uses any of them, because whenever he unlocks a new one, he just channels it into Ultimate, a form that draws out his latent power as is. So, unlike Gohan where he completely manifests his anger, and goes beyond his own limits and gets Beast, Trunks essentially gets his own version of Ultimate. And here I'm going to do something different. I never really used Trunks' Rage form because honestly I don't like it. I know a lot of other people don't either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to steal that design here because I think the aura looks really cool. Plus you can see bits of blue and Super Saiyan in it, which is perfect for what this is because it's just manifesting all of Trunks' power that he's unlocked before. This is Trunks' own unique Ultimate state. This way I can keep Beast Gohan as his own unique thing for Gohan. Because even though in some what ifs I use the explanation that it's an evolved version of Ultimate, since that does make it interesting sometimes, at the time of recording I still just consider this a unique thing for Gohan based on some of the statements for it. And now Trunks has his own unique form too. Also based on Ultimate but different. We'll call this form Absolute Trunks. A form that showcases his absolute strength, drawing from everything he's learned before, manifesting it through Ultimate, made into a unique and highly efficient power. With everyone surpassing their limits, now back to Goku Black. He wins that fight he started in another timeline. Against a mortal named Hearts, one who was trying to overthrow the gods. At the very last second, Hearts was able to escape, but he was gravely injured. Goku Black was glad to use this as practice, but he needs something more than this. With Fu feeding him more info and help, as well as giving him some more magic to unlock his power. With Hearts barely alive, he realizes that he might not be able to achieve his goals, but maybe he can get some help from other mortals, at least to overthrow this one god. If anything, this reinforces the idea that he needs to kill all the gods, because look at this. He never thought of going to different timelines though, but maybe he'll have to resort to that. Goku Black continues having his own fights, going to other timelines, fighting different versions of Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, Gohan, everyone, quickly growing stronger. Fu is able to help him a bunch, and he still hasn't met Fu face to face. But he trusts Fu. Is the mask actually brainwashing him? He can't tell for certain. Maybe Fu is just very charismatic and Goku Black likes him because he's actually getting help from Fu. Or maybe the mask is slightly possessing him, making him follow Fu's orders. But he doesn't even realize it because it aligns with what he wants. Either way, he doesn't care. He feels completely in control right now, especially now that he's tapped into a brand new power, ascending beyond Super Saiyan Rose 2 and getting Super Saiyan Rose 3. But he could tell, this isn't where he ends. He could still go further from here. This power is amazing, and it's so great that it's even breaking the mask that he has. His connection with Fu is growing weaker, but he still trusts Fu. Fu saved him from death. Fu helped him grow stronger. Maybe the mask actually is brainwashing him, and gaining this power is helping him free himself from that. But again, he doesn't care about that. He cares about achieving the ultimate power, becoming the strongest godly figure, able to defeat all mortals, and all timelines, all continuities, everything. This is the beginning of the end, and this is where we'll leave off for now. What do you guys think about this part, and what's going to happen next? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps out the channel. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.